You entrusted your loved one's care to a nursing home, expecting compassion and quality treatment. Instead, they suffered from neglect, abuse, bed sores, falls, or medication errors that could have been prevented. I'm Chris Brown from Geiger Legal Group. Our elderly deserve dignity and proper care, not negligence that causes pain and suffering. When nursing homes fail in their duty of care, we fight to hold them accountable. Your loved one's suffering matters. We'll stand up for those who can't stand up for themselves.
Call Geiger Legal Group at 833-HELP-GLG and let us tell your story today.
You snoozed twice this morning, spilled your coffee once, and you've already blamed last night's referee for your morning mood.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
It's time to embrace the chaos and step into the madness.
Bro, you about to see a side of me you didn't even know existed.
Featuring guests who are over-caffeinated and less reasonable than the average person.
Man, I think it's just ridiculous.
Come on, man. Are you serious? Ugh.
Fans, where else would you rather be than right here, right now? Welcome to the show.
So buckle up. It's time for hot takes and hot mics. This is the Morning Rant, where the only thing more unpredictable is Dave before his third cup of coffee.
I just felt like running.
On WPGY, the Sports Pig.
It's a Monday morning inside our Carriage Kia studios. Hello, everyone. What's up, North Georgia? Dave Garner with you till 11 o'clock this morning as we bring you the Monday morning quarterback edition of the Morning Rant. Thanks for joining us right here on a gorgeous Monday in North Georgia. Hey, our Jasper Coca-Cola text line, as always, 866-888-0744 is now open. Again, 866-888-0744. Chime in with anything that we talk about here over this next hour. I'm in here with my man, Big John Davis, joining us right here, the refrigerator mover, as always, partner. Good Monday morning to you, man.
Hey, Dave, how you doing today?
Man, I'm doing pretty good. I got my coffee. You've always got your big Tim Hortons cup. Now, I don't know if you got it this morning. I don't see it yet. There it is. There it is. For those of you watching on YouTube, yes, I've got my big, my Don't Tread on Me that I actually got from Buc-ee's, by the way. I've got a lot of different tumblers that I've had over the years, and so I tend to rock the yellow Don't Tread on Me everywhere I go. But, hey, man, we had a great time on Friday at Bradley's. Again, a 3-hour show. We hope you made it or hope you heard it. If you didn't, again, you can go to YouTube and listen to it. But what a show, man. I mean, David Collins, again, our NFL insider, joined us for a portion of the show. Of course, John and I chopped up a lot of different topics. We had John Capone, the owner from Bradley's Bar, sit in with us, and a host of other guests. Michael Cheever, again, a former Georgia Tech offensive lineman, sitting in with us. And, man, it was a lot of fun. Gorgeous weather on Friday. And, man, I can't wait to get back.
Yeah, I tell you what, I talked to John a little bit afterwards while we were eating wings.
Yes, which were very good, by the way.
He loved it. And, it was a great turnout. And you know what he looks at, it wasn't so much how many people showed up. But what he mentioned was the amount of people who are going to keep coming back.
Yeah.
And so I think he was happy that he gained probably 8 to 10 to maybe 11 repeat customers, and that's what you like, because that spreads the word, and I think he was very pleased.
You know, we talk about the connectivity that radio gives you. Radio is your friend, right? And so, people listen to this show, they tune in, and people always ask me all the time, are people still listening to radio? Absolutely. Now, they may not always be listening over the dial, but it's just like anything else. Newspapers have had to change the way they do business, right? So now everything is moving over to digital platforms. Already slurring my words here on a Monday morning. But again, and that's just how people are viewing, because everybody has, an iPhone or an Android or whatever, and that's where they're getting their news content from. A lot of times, that's where they're listening to their favorite podcast. That's where they're, downloading their favorite content, going on YouTube or what have you. So again, radio is no different. It's just that we've now given people a lot of other ways to be able to listen instead of just over the dial. And
No, you're exactly right. And I just got a couple of texts, especially one from my old teammate, Glenn Spencer. He's in Philadelphia now, but he lives out in Montana with his wife, Janine Edwards, we used to be the old, and I say old, she used to, the horse racing commentator. The Derby and horse racer commentator. And, but he texted me last night and said he enjoyed the show. He says it's nothing like listening to a big, dumb offensive line climb and talk football. And I told him that was a compliment. So it's always good. I mean, we're reaching out to a lot of people, and I woke up in a very grateful mood today because I'm going to tell you a little story. You know how I had talked to you about Dr. Bowers at Emory with my shoulder and everything?
Right, yeah.
Well, it's gone south.
Uh-oh. Okay.
I can't even lift my right arm up. And but it was 50-50 if the shot was going to work or not. But I just it is what it is, and I'm trying to make the best of it and smile through it and stuff. And it made me remember my cousin Mitzi Beavers Green, my uncle George Green and Ella J's daughter, and her husband Danny gets on the Facebook every once in a while, and he'll just get moved to sing a song, whether it's Chris Christopherson or some of the old timers like that, or an old gospel song, and it always brings a smile to myself when I see him on there, because he's so happy and sharing that, and still running, and which is a lot more than I can say. So but it's just John was very happy with what happened on Friday. I think we're going to try to do something special for the Saturday before Father's Day. I'm going up to see him after the show. And then getting back to Glenn, unfortunately, about a month or so, 6 weeks ago, their house burned down out in Miami or Montana. Yeah. And he sent me some pictures of them rebuilding. So, so good thing, he says, look, dude, he says, all it was a house. Yeah. And, so he's very grateful and of what he has. And I can't wait to get out there next year to visit with him.
I thought you were going to have, with a smile on your face, because you look happy, man. You look great. You look vibrant. And I was thinking, okay, man, we got some good news coming right here. I was getting excited there for a moment. But no, man, you got a great perspective. I mean, sometimes, like you said, all you can do is just smile through it and just keep pushing, So
my good news is going to be when I hear from the doctor having an appointment scheduled for me.
Yeah, there we go.
It's going to be my good news.
I feel you, man. It sucks getting old, man. That's what it's all about. Hey, big weekend for the Braves, of course, as they get it done yesterday to take yet another series. We're going to talk about that. Also, PGA Championship, Preakness, just a bunch of things really happening over the weekend. One of the things we're going to talk about is some of the fan interaction that we saw over the weekend. There were two primary stories that kind of came out of the weekend as far as fan interaction. One of those came from the PGA Championship. Rory McIlroy, now some folks were arguing it happened during his backswing. I don't think it was. But, you're in Philadelphia, right? You're right outside of Philadelphia where the PGA Championship was at. That means you got Philadelphia fans, and we all know how awful they are. They're the worst, pretty much in all of, professional sports at least. And so, what do you expect except for guys yelling all kinds of things during the round over the course of the 3 or 4 days there. But one of the things that came out yesterday was Rory, as soon as he hit a shot, somebody chanted something, and then after that they chanted, USA or something or other, and he basically turned around and told the fan to, shut the F up. And then in a baseball game yesterday, Pete Crow-Armstrong for the Chicago Cubs went up, crashing up against the wall to make a catch, and there was a female fan out there that said something to him like, you suck or whatever, and he turned around and he yelled at her, said, suck this, that, but whatever. I don't know. I'm not going to repeat it on the radio. But it kind of brought up the point that, like, and you being a professional athlete, I kind of want to get your take on it. How are your interactions traditionally with the fans? And was there ever a time where you really had to bite your lip, or did you snap, and did you have that moment maybe with an opposing fan?
Yeah, at home, obviously, it's a little bit different. The one thing that I always respected about our fans, and I'll give you a little story. When we first moved up there in '89, our headmaster and I hired 3 kids to mow our lawn. Yeah. And, why? And so I asked him, he says, well, this money, I said, what are you using the money for? Thinking that he's going to do something, spectacular, or saving up for something great. He says, no, I got to have a season ticket to the Buffalo Bills. And
there you
so
go.
all three of them, so I've more than happily, donated to their cause. But, people pay a lot of money for tickets. I don't know. Golf, I guess, is a little bit different. It's supposedly a gentleman's game.
Right.
I've played in enough tournaments to where everybody's talking, the music's blaring, so you don't even think about it. You just kind of tune it out. And you wonder, as great of an athlete as these golfers are, they can't tune it out. It's like you can't stand behind a golfer. You have to, well, hell, I can't see you behind me. I can see you in front of me, so get out of the way in front of me.
Right.
But they're a fickle athlete, and I'm not a Roy fan, so if it hurt his shot, then I'm more than happy. But I will say the Philly fans are pretty brutal.
They are.
I tore my knee up in New England in '91, and as I was walking off the field, they were throwing beer on me.
Oh, goodness.
That was how close we were to the stands,
going into
and I'm just
it,
like, dude, I said, give it to me, I'll drink it. Don't waste it.
Don't waste it.
But yeah, I mean, fans, I think, to be honest with you, they pay a lot of money. And as long as you don't take it over the line, they could pretty much say, now listen, I've been in Buffalo where we played terrible and you should have heard. I don't think today's players, or at least in college, you should have heard what I was called in college back in the 1980s.
Oh, my goodness.
I mean, listen, and my parents were sitting right there. My parents were sitting right there with them, and they're cussing me up one side and down the other, thinking I was the whole offensive line. But if you don't cross the line, you pay a lot of money, and you can voice your opinion. I always said that when I had a radio show up there, when we played bad, I always owned up to it. I always say, we sucked. I mean, we were terrible.
Yeah.
And
say it the way it is, man.
Y'all deserve more than what we showed you yesterday. Golf, I guess, is a little bit different. I say I get it, but I don't really get it because, grow up. Rory was complaining, and I think at the end of the day, he was right about, I thought it was a very boring tournament. I think like he said, there's not going to be many birdies. There are going to be eagles because the par fives were easily accessible, and there's going to be a lot of bogeys. And that's at the end of the day. That's what happened. I think Aaron Rai, who won the championship, I think he ended up 6 over or 6 under on par fives.
That's where he won it.
And he finished at 9 under.
Exactly.
So that's basically what won him the tournament.
It was.
I thought overall the PGA, and I know it's a historic course and everything, but I thought it was very boring to the point where I really wasn't watching. I wanted to listen to see how they were treating the live golfers, like Rahm and Cameron Smith and those guys. Surprisingly, they were pretty good. Thank God Brandy wasn't on the mic. But I was very unimpressed with it, and I'm just waiting for the U.S. Open to come around.
There we go, man. The next major in line right there. Again, we'll talk about the PGA Championship on the other side of the break. Also, couple of local area high schools in state championship baseball tournaments this weekend, or in state championships, I guess I should say. We'll talk about that. Also, NASCAR Cup Series All-Star Race and the Preakness, and your Buffalo Sabres in Game 7 tonight. All that more on the other side of the break. Keep it locked right here on this Monday morning quarterback edition of the Morning Rant, presented by your friends at Foundation Wealth in Dalton. We are the home of ESPN Radio in North Georgia on the Sports Pig app and online at sportspigradio.com.
Welcome to your hometown pub. Open 7 days a week, the Pub in LJ is your happy hour hangout. They offer a variety of dishes to satisfy every palate, and their friendly staff is here to ensure a wonderful time. Join them for daily happy hour specials Monday through Thursday. And don't forget, every Wednesday is Wing Wednesday with $1 wings all day long. Located at 941 Maddox Drive in East Ellijay. Open Sunday through Wednesday till midnight, Thursday through Saturday till 2 a.m. The Pub in Ellijay, where every visit feels like home.
Grand Slam!
98.1 and 93.7 The Sports Pig, the official home for the Atlanta Braves baseball. Time to hang it in the Louvre.
Oh, this looks nice.
Our favorite moments from the week in sports here on the Morning Rant.
Back here on the home of ESPN Radio in North Georgia on the Sports Pig app and online at sportspigradio.com. Dave Garner, the professor, back with the refrigerator mover, John Davis, right here on a Monday morning quarterback. Hey, a shout out to our friend Danny from Chatsworth. He just texted in to our Jasper Coca-Cola text line at 866-888-0744 and said, hey guys, I want you to know that I plan my morning runs around your show. Keep up the good work. Thank you, Danny. We appreciate it, man. Again, Danny from Chatsworth, one of our listeners around here on the program. Thanks for being with us. A lot of things going on over the weekend as we chop up our favorite moments. Denny Hamlin was the winner of the Dover NASCAR All-Star race yesterday afternoon. They've been kind of moving the All-Star race around. They used to always kind of do it exclusively in Charlotte, but now they kind of move it, and it was at the Monster Mile yesterday. Denny Hamlin able to win the 200-lap shootout there after the stage races here to get it going. Also, as we mentioned, Preakness on Saturday. Napoleon Solo beating the odds yesterday, or on Saturday, to come up with the dub right there. John, I don't know if you had a chance to watch any of that or not, man. It was up right at just under 2 minutes, man. It's quick, man. It moves fast.
I did. Our friend that we met at Bradley's, Seth Lippman, sent us a drink recipe called the Black Eyed Susan.
There we go.
I made a couple of those right before the race, and I tell you what, for some reason we have gotten into horse racing this year. So we kind of scheduled.
It can be a little addictive. I mean, that's
Saturday.
the thing.
Yeah, I know.
It does.
We now that I know that we're going next year to the Kentucky Derby, I think we're getting a little bit excited.
There you go.
But yeah, we were excited to watch it, and
time to hang it in the Louvre.
I had my exacta, my buddy Damien
nice.
Burke.
Our favorite moments from the week in sports
he said, what
here
you
on
do is
the
you do
Morning Rant.
And you bet so much money. And I had Taj Mahal, Chip Honcho, The Hell We Did, and Ocella.
Right.
Or Ocelli, I think. And, but I haven't looked to see how they finished. I know I didn't win.
Right.
But no, it was a lot of fun. And I tell you, just the whole pomp and circumstance of the races and the reason, the reason why the horse that won the Kentucky Derby, the trainer came out and just said that the horse was really tired.
Yeah.
Well, the other 13 that ran in the Preakness must have not been that tired.
Yeah, I guess. So
I don't.
Takes a lot out of you to get the win. Yeah,
there had to be. There's got to be a good reason for it.
There's got to be a little bit more. Yeah,
but still, it's still a lot of fun. And then I think the last one coming, I think it's a little bit later in the year, is the Belmont Stakes, and so we're going to eagerly await for that as well.
That'll be the last one of the Triple Crown.
The Triple Crown.
As far as the races go, we won't have a Triple Crown winner this year, of course. But yeah, the Belmont, that one tends to go a little bit longer distance right there. So that's always the hard one to conquer for some of those horses that have been fortunate enough to win the first couple. Hey, Pickens High School, shout out to the Dragons. They defeat Calhoun last on Friday, and they are headed to the state championship on Saturday down in Columbus at the Atlanta Braves AA home. The Columbus Clingstones. They're going to play at their park against Troup County out of LaGrange. Basically a home series for Troup because they're right there. But again, the Pickens Dragons and the Etowah Eagles also stamping their ticket to the 6A state championship. Now they're awaiting the winner of the series today against Parkview and North Paulding. But again, congratulations to them. North Cobb Christian, our friends at Cartersville, they were ousted in the Final Four. Kell and Pope out of East Cobb in your neck of the woods there, John, headed into the title games in 4A and 5A respectively. Of course, we were in East Cobb on Friday at Bradley's. But yeah, congratulations to all of our local area high schools getting it done. And we will have talk and coverage leading up to Saturday's state championships for you right here on WPGY, the Sports Pig. So you'll want to keep it locked right here on the home of ESPN Radio in North Georgia. We'll have a little bit more news about this tomorrow. We are finalizing the potential to have live coverage from Columbus on Saturday for you, either here or over on our sister station. That's 101.1 The Pulse. We're finalizing that, so I don't want to say too much yet until we know for sure. But yeah, excited for all of our teams. Certainly certainly. So going to be a lot of fun there to watch our high schools go at it.
I swear, it's like I told you this weekend when I texted you. I swear people are listening to our show because, as we talked about on Friday or maybe Wednesday, you would like to see these championship games at a bigger venue.
Yeah.
And so the kids can really enjoy it. So guess what? They're playing at the Braves affiliate.
They're playing at Rome. They're playing in Columbus. They're playing at Gwinnett, so they've got some of the Braves venues there lined up. And, yeah, man, that's the way it should be. Speaking of the Braves, again, they get it done yesterday, 8-1 over the Red Sox. Grant Holmes, 6 shutout innings. Austin Riley with a 3-run pop. They're off today, tomorrow in Miami for a 4-game set, and then they'll come back home against the Nationals over the weekend. But the Braves doing what they do, man. They win 2 out of 3, and as long as you continue that model through the season, you're ultimately going to be successful.
As the crow flies, we're probably not 5 miles from the stadium, and you saw where they not canceled, but they stopped play because of hail.
Yeah.
And guess what? The sun stayed out here the whole time.
I know. It's great. Yeah, if you looked at the weather radar, it was this one little cell. I mean, this one little red cell. It had hail and everything, and then it was gone.
Let's pick out the Braves Stadium.
Yeah,
and let's just go ahead and cause havoc and stuff. But, they're doing what you said. 2 out of 3. And I went back and looked from last year, and I think I sent it to you, but we're 9 games over 500 from this time last year. We were 23-24, started out 0-7. I had forgot about that.
Yeah.
And then 32-15, head down to Miami, which I got to be honest with you, I thought it used to be the Florida Marlins.
It was.
Because I kept looking for the Florida Marlins, and I'm like, there's no Florida on here.
I still call them that. I mean, I still call them the Florida Marlins, right?
Exactly.
Because that's how when they had success, they were the Florida Marlins.
Yeah, exactly. So, they go down there for a road 3-game. I don't know who they play after that. I haven't looked at it right quick, but
Nationals.
But no, they're. I mean, it's like you said, Dave. They're doing what they are supposed to be doing.
Yeah,
and,
absolutely.
Somebody falters, somebody picks it up. The pitching has been very good, except for maybe 1 or 2 innings. I mean, you can't really say anybody's had a bad outing,
right?
But it's a lot of fun, and you know what? It was nice because I could watch all 3 games this weekend as well. They were all on TV.
Yes, man. I tell you, yesterday was crazy. I was watching the Braves game because they were on TV. To your point, I was also watching the PGA Championship, flipping around between that. We had an event at church last night because my stepdaughter's graduating, of course, on Friday, and so we had to take a break there and then come back. But then you had NASCAR on as well, so I was watching it was definitely a multi-screen day yesterday. Because there's just so much going on. Oh, and of course, yeah. Now I will admit I didn't watch any of that, but I'm sure you probably. I left that one to you, partner, because I knew you'd be paying attention. WNBA Atlanta Dream fell by a point. By the way, that was going on as well on TV.
Shucks.
So yeah, shucks. So again, man, you can't watch them all, right? I mean, you only got some room for so many TVs. But we appreciate you guys again. Jasper Coca-Cola text line 866-888-0744. We want to hear from you. PGA Championship. Going back to that real quick, there were some amazing shots, especially on Saturday, that I think set the tone for the rest of the weekend. I mean, you saw some guys, with some eagles. You saw, Rory put one within 3 feet of the cup, well over 300 yards away off a tee. To your point, some of those par 5s guys able to drive the green, which set up, eagle opportunities and so forth. Saw a guy that was playing with Rory, on a par 3, put one right in the cup. Didn't even bounce. I mean, it landed in the cup. And so there was a big crowd there, obviously, being in Philadelphia, loud noise, this, that, and the other. But there were some great moments that, again, I know you were talking about it the first, segment being a little bit boring at times. Certainly, I think there were some shots early in the weekend that kind of set up yesterday. But again, the big long putt there from Aaron Rye on 17 was basically the clincher. But outside of that, not a whole lot of stuff going on there. But Aaron Rye, man, the Englishman there, able to win. His wife's a professional golfer too, by the way.
Oh, I did not know that. And he's the first Englishman, I think, since 1919.
I think you're right.
And
over 100 years.
I know I sit here and say it was boring. To me, it's like the way I want my tournament to be set up, because I really almost know who's going to win my tournament every year just because of 33 years in the history.
Right.
But it's like right when you get to the hole, right when you putt to the hole, it either goes left or right. It's like on a little hill.
Yeah.
And so Rory was right. He says you're going to see a lot of bogeys, a few eagles, and not many birdies.
Yeah.
And so
there you go.
I'm looking here at the score now. There's only three golfers. The top three: Aaron Rai, John Rahm, and Alex Smalley.
Yep.
They're the only three golfers that shot par or under.
Right.
And all three of them had a round of 70 and then 3 rounds in the 60s. And, I don't ever remember the PGA Championship being that hard before. The U.S. Open's the one who the greenskeepers get really upset if they have a big day on Thursday.
Right.
Because you can almost bet that on Friday nobody's going to be under par.
Right.
Because they get their feelings hurt. They get embarrassed because it's such a huge competition amongst all the greenskeepers. So, but this, 9 under, he pulled it off, but that putt on 17 was just unbelievable.
That was amazing. Yeah, that was
just steady, steady, right down the middle.
Yeah, Alex Smalley, to your point, was on the top of the leaderboard for a lot of the weekend there. John Rahm as well, coming over from Liv. Scheffler just couldn't quite get over the hump. He was in the mix along with Rory. Of course, Bryson DeChambeau not making the cut again. That was a big story, obviously, early in the weekend there as well after Friday's round. So again, we kept her on a little bit. The PGA Championship wrapping up there in Pennsylvania, and Aaron Rai, the first Englishman in over 100 years to win the tournament. Hey, we're up against our second break right here on this Monday morning quarterback edition of the Morning Rant. Just a reminder, catch us on social media. The Sports Pig, as always, on Facebook. Our show, the Morning Rant, is on Instagram with clips, full video episodes daily on YouTube. Also, uploaded on our website, sportspigradio.com, and wherever you listen to your favorite daily podcast on Apple and Android platforms, including Spotify and Podbean. You can catch us on Twitter. I'm at Dave Garner 777. He's at John Davis _65, and this is the Morning Rant. Coming up, we're going to talk about NHL, NBA playoffs, and we'll dive into some NFL news, more scheduling stuff coming at you, plus some college football news and notes as well in the back half of the show. Stay with us right here on the home of ESPN Radio in North Georgia on the Sports Pig app and online at sportspigradio.com.
Whatever cooling solution makes the most sense, Green Heating and Cooling is ready to help. Whether you need a quick fix or an entirely new cooling system, Green will do whatever it takes for your family's comfort. With Green, you get more than just a technician. You get someone who's committed to meeting your needs and achieving a high level of training and skills. Someone backed by outstanding products from one of the industry's most trusted names, Bryant. Nobody understands the ins and outs of home comfort like Green. So whatever your situation or budget, Green Heating and Cooling has a solution for you. Bryant, whatever it takes.
98.1 and 93.7 The Sports Pig, your official home for flag-to-flag coverage of NASCAR. We bring the heat, you bring the trash talk.
Come on, man. Are you serious?
It's the Morning Rant, live on the Sports Pig app and sportspigradio.com.
It is a Mafia Monday. Weekend we ride right here on the Monday morning quarterback edition of the Morning Rant. Dave Garner, John Davis with you till 11 o'clock. Our man Chuck Oliver back on the airwaves today. We hijacked Chuck's show on Friday again, but most days 11 to 1 right here on Sports Pig Radio and on the app. Thanks for being with us right here. Hey, NHL, NBA playoffs rocking and rolling, and I turned on the world news last night just to kind of get caught up with what's going on outside of sports. And even on the world news, they were talking about the Sabres and the Canadiens with a Game 7 tonight. Man, oh man, oh man, what a job. Buffalo falls behind early in that game the other night, but they come back, they win, they put it away 8-3, and now a Game 7 back in Buffalo this evening, man.
Jim Prentice is going tonight. Mark is staying home, I think. But so hopefully Jim bring us some good luck. And but no, he says they're buzzing up there, and they need to go out to my favorite watering hole, Brunners, and have a beer on me. But,
there you go.
But yeah, they're excited. The 8 goals, as I was looking at right here, was tied for second in franchise history. They had 9 against the Boston Bruins. Lindy Ruff, the head coach, petitioned to have the game back in Montreal, and obviously the NHL said no. You got to have it in Buffalo because they've each team's won on the road, so hopefully Buffalo will bring it in tonight. That's I know the place will be rocking. Well, let's see, 10:30. Yeah, I'm sure Buffalo's rocking right now.
I'm sure. Yeah, I was going to say, I'm sure they're already ready. The tailgating has already begun.
This is the equivalent to the AFC Championship.
Yes, so exactly. It's all the Bills fans. They're
there.
just putting on their Sabre jerseys now.
Exactly.
So, Cleveland Cavaliers upending the number 1 seed last night. The Detroit Pistons. So it will be Cavs, Knicks in the Eastern Conference Finals. They get it done 125-94. Meanwhile, the Spurs also ousting the T-Wolves. So it is San Antonio and OKC in the Western side. So the bracket is set as the conference semifinals get underway this week. And so we'll talk about that. NHL, we'll know a lot more tomorrow about how the fields look. So, man, a lot of things going on right now in the world of sports. And, hey, it's time to talk some football.
It's time to roll back the clock and relive the biggest moments from the weekend. This is your Mafia Monday Weekend Rewind with a man who knows what it means to battle in the trenches. It's table crushing time on the Morning Rant.
So here we go, John. Again, as you mentioned, table crushing time in Buffalo for the Sabres tonight, but we're going to kind of turn the page here a little bit and talk about some football. We had a lot of discussion, you and I did, and of course our NFL insider David Collins on Friday while we were at Bradley's Bar and Grill down there off of Lower Roswell Road in East Cobb. We're talking about the schedule release. Of course, that was the big deal there. There's a lot going on right now as far as, the questions about, the NFL killing the Sunday afternoon time slots because of so many national games and streaming games on other devices and things like that. Yeah. But one of the other things that we really talked about a lot was playoff possibilities, over-under win totals, things like that. You and I were talking about some of the different teams involved in that. And so, the discussions are already beginning about the NFL and people already trying to predict what's going to happen this year. And we're only in May.
No, I know. And I think we have to at least tell our fans out there that we're going to not talk about the NFL every time we come on here, but it just seems like something comes up every day.
Hey, as long as there's news,
especially with NCAA as well.
Right.
But, as I said Friday, I looked at Buffalo's schedule, and of course I'm, when we talk here, it's going to be more, heavy Buffalo just because of me and my career there.
Right.
But I'm just like, man, if they win 10 games, I'll be tickled. And of course, I think David said the over and under was 10.5. Yeah. But I go on to this Pro Football Network playoff probabilities, and they got Buffalo at number 1. Full 8% more than Baltimore.
Yeah, 77.2.
We all thought that Baltimore wasn't going to make the playoffs because you don't know about Lamar Jackson.
Right. Well, that's the X
Buffalo
factor.
Sitting there, 77%. You got Denver at 70, Houston at 61, and then it goes on down to the Chargers, and Houston's the last one at 60. Or Jacksonville's like 55%. I don't see it, but these guys obviously know something that I don't because they publish these books and everything, and and then also to go to the. I think the bottom was to not make the playoffs, where I think we had said this: Las Vegas, Cleveland, Miami, and the Jets. Of course, that hurts our division because we got 2 teams in there that are very bad, and I don't think New England's going to be very good this year either. So, and then on the other side, they're big on Chicago, the Rams, Dallas, and they even got Atlanta in there. Yeah. So, like I said, they know something.
Well, they know,
that I don't know.
Yeah. And David Collins even mentioned, I mean, he liked the Chargers as his Super Bowl pick, potentially to play someone like the Rams or the Bears or what have you. But again, when you talk about the league right now, it's always kind of, open for everybody. And obviously with Chicago kind of, stocking up on their draft picks and so forth, I mean, you got to like them, of course, certainly coming. And I say that it pains my heart to say that as a Packer fan. But again, Chicago looks pretty loaded. So, I think the NFC, even more so than the AFC, is wide open. I think really the AFC over the last several years, when you look at it, it's pretty much been, to me, it's been pretty predictable. I mean, it's Chiefs, it's Bills, it's Ravens, and then you throw in, a Denver or someone like that, and, New England. I think that a lot of people feel like New England may be a surprise team to miss the playoffs this year. I know that David had mentioned that as well on Friday, so it'll be interesting to see, especially after having gone to the Super Bowl. But as we all know, the general consensus is the schedule was so weak last year for New England. That's why they were able to make the run they did. But again, may not be the luxury this year, so we'll have to see what happens, especially with all the Mike Vrabel drama.
Yeah, exactly. It depends. I mean, it goes back, and I'm not going to get into it, but it goes back to leadership. And, I'm sure Kraft will figure that whole thing out. As you know, Vrabel's not been in the news lately, so hopefully they're working through all of that. But you go to the NFC. If you look at it, Green Bay, Seattle, Philadelphia. Philadelphia is quietly, put together a very dominant team. Unfortunately, they have a hiccup, when they probably shouldn't. But you're right with Chicago and the Rams. And I think I said Friday, people are looking at Buffalo and the Rams as the possible Super Bowl
I'd be down for that. I'd be down for that,
Yeah, and then Buffalo, Buffalo plays out there also during the regular season. So you kind of get excited, I guess. This is kind of everybody's what they call off-season training programs. I haven't had a chance to talk to Big Red Keelan in a couple of weeks to see how things are going out in Houston. But, a lot can happen. Obviously, there's still some big free agencies sitting out there, or free agent players that are sitting out there right now that haven't been picked up by anybody. And that's usually a situation to where once they get into training camp, or if something freak happens during the season or during the off season in the summer, is what they'll wait and bring them in, because they want to bring them in on the cheap.
Absolutely.
That. And some of these are high profile players, Bosa's being one of them, who I think still has a lot left in the gas tank.
I do too. I think he's got plenty in the tank.
And he's just got to be that right fit. But things will be a lot clearer once training camp starts and we get a little bit more understanding. Training camp's fickle and weird because, every coach looks at it differently. Marv used to always... We used to have to ask to put pads on in training camp, if you can imagine that. Because, we just, but Marv was smart about everything. And he's like, okay, if you want to put the pads on, then I'm going to control, this and that and the other, which is understandable. But, you had to get into football shape. And with that comes injuries. And it's like I always said, if you can make it through those first 4 games injury-free, your chances go up a lot. If you don't, they drop.
A lot of the freak stuff seems to happen early in the season, the Achilles and things like that. Once you get past a certain window, you don't tend to see those things quite as much. I mean, like you said, your chances improve as the season goes on
And one thing, I'll just give you a little tidbit that's just keep this in the back of your mind to everybody out there listening. The most arrests, believe it or not, in the NFL happened within a month after the Super Bowl and a month before training camp. Because you're trying to – and we're like thinking – because the NFLPA was looking at it and like, what's going on, to figure out why is this happening. Well, you go through a 20, 21, 22-week season, and you got a lot of pent-up aggression. And just, you've done everything from 7 to 7 every single day. And then all of a sudden you got all this free time.
Yeah.
It's like, what the hell am I going to do now?
Right.
And it's not good.
Yeah.
You know, now it's gotten better.
Right.
But not as bad as it used to be.
Yeah.
But then right before you get to the season, everybody is like gearing up, and everybody's like, okay, I'm getting ready for another 24-week, period.
Right.
Let's go out and have some fun, which is not a good idea.
Yeah.
But it happens. So just keep that in the back of your mind to see what happens before training camp starts.
Training camp, absolutely. Hey, it's a Mafia Monday right here on this Monday morning quarterback edition of the Morning Rant. A lot of M's right here on this Monday. We've already hung it in the Louvre. We've talked about our favorite sports moments from the weekend. We've done our weekend rewind right here. We've talked about NASCAR, golf, horse racing, high school baseball, you name it. The Atlanta Braves, of course, continuing on doing what they do. And so again, now we do have we got another text. We'll address that on the other side of the break here from your friend Jim talking about those Sabres tonight. So we'll come back talk about that. Also, some NCAA takes as well. My man Big John Davis and I will chop it up and talk a little bit more about some of the things going on in the world of college sports as we lead into Chuck Oliver right at 11 o'clock right here on the home of ESPN Radio in North Georgia. Hey, keep it locked right here on the Sports Pig app and online at sportspigradio.com. This Monday edition of the show brought to you by your friends at Foundation Wealth in Dalton. Stay with us right here. More of the Morning Rant coming up in a moment on the home of ESPN Radio in North Georgia.
Financial scams are on the rise, and with AI, they're getting more and more sophisticated every day. If someone pressures you to act quickly, ask for secrecy, or request payment through gift cards, wire transfers, or cryptocurrency, stop. Legitimate financial professionals don't rush you or demand unusual payment methods. Before you send money or share personal information, slow down and verify. Protect your future. When in doubt, ask questions.
If you're suspicious of a scam, call the team at Foundation Wealth today at 706-278-0214.
Grand Slam! 98.1 and 93.7 The Sports Pig, the official home for the Atlanta Braves baseball. Big opinions of the big games from the big mouths.
Man, I think it's just ridiculous.
Yeah.
It's the Morning Rant on WPGY The Sports Pig, North Georgia's home for ESPN Radio.
Sit down.
Back here on a Monday morning quarterback edition of the Morning Rant. The Professor Dave Garner, the refrigerator mover John Davis in with you till 11 o'clock here today. Again, Chuck Oliver up next with Southern Sports Today, the king of college football. He'll be chopping it up as always. Hey, John and I with a little bit of our own college football talk. One of the things we've really talked about, John, on the program over these last several weeks and really now, I guess, over the last couple months, I guess you could say, is just, all the changes with the NCAA. We've talked about basketball, football, this, that, and the other. Teams saying, hey, top to bottom, our schedule, this and that, all the different debates that are going on there. But no matter what you think or whatever you say, it really is a situation where things are changing. And they have changed. The landscape of it has changed so much. And there's going to continue to be a lot of changes when we talk about college football and the way the seasons look moving forward.
I was reading an article earlier. I think I sent you a little note. A guy named Bill Connolly. I don't know who he is, but he basically came out and said what you and I have been saying since our first show. It's all about the money. Forget about everything else. It's all about the money. It's interesting. I do have one proposal that they should do because I think, Dave, I think at the end of the day, we're doing the MAC conference. We're doing the Big Sky, the lower level divisions or conferences. We got we got the Power Five.
Right.
That's about, 68, 72 teams right around there. Honestly, they just need to go ahead and divide it up.
Right.
They need to go ahead and have your NCAA 1, NCAA 2 champions, not FCS and any of that. Just divide it up because at the end of the day, you're hurting these smaller schools because what's going to happen now, Dave, is that they're jockeying for, I think, now I could be wrong, and I'd love to hear from somebody to tell me I'm wrong because I'm welcome to that. I think what's going to happen is that, like this year, we've scheduled Mercer. There's no reason why we should play Mercer. You know, there's no reason why we should play KSU or Gardner Webb or those schools, and that's not taken away from Mercer and them. It's just it's not a win-win. It's a win-win for them because you're getting a big paycheck,
right?
But we played the Citadel 5 or 6 years ago, and look what happened. I knew that was going to happen because the Citadel. If you understand that, and Harrison played there, but if you understand the Citadel is that for 6 days they go through hell.
Yeah.
And then on Saturday is their fun time.
Right.
And so what do you think is going to happen?
Yeah.
You know, they're having a ball.
Yeah,
and,
absolutely.
And sure enough, they came over and kicked our butts. So I think what they should do is go into 9-game conference schedule. I think the other 3 games need to be Power 4 games. I think you need to, whether you want to get a little diverse and say we go to Northwestern or we go to West Virginia or Oklahoma State or, you know, something like that, Purdue. You know, but I think those 3 games, now, except for your intrastate, you know, obviously you got the Tech, Georgia, Clemson, South Carolina, Tennessee, Vanderbilt, you know, well, that's a conference game, really. But you know what I'm saying.
Right.
And I think it needs to go to that. In that way, you're holding everybody accountable, and then you're going to have a true. And then I also think the ESPN has way too much control of the rankings.
Right.
Whether they don't have their hands in it, everybody's always looking over their shoulder. You know what I'm saying? Again, I could be wrong, but that's the way it feels.
Right.
Because, you know, we have this huge misperception or this perception of SEC, and all that crap. Big Ten's won the last 3 championships.
Right.
You know, and now you're starting to see who's the biggest opponent of the 24 playoff, the SEC.
Yeah.
You know, so because they're afraid the Big Ten's going to probably get 6 or 7 teams in and the SEC might not. But the whole rankings thing, especially the preseason and setting these teams up, it's like I told you, the SEC sits there and says, well, Tennessee beat Ole Miss, and, you know, they jumped 9 points, and Ole Miss only dropped 2 points.
2 spots,
you know?
exactly.
And I just think it's a bunch of crap, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
But I think if they did that, besides the intrastate game, I think the other 2 games need to be Power 4 games, and then let it play out from there.
Right, yeah. No, I agree with you. I don't think anybody really cares to see, you know, some of these games, especially in the early season, these non-conference games, and then everybody, you know, has that game right before their last week of the regular season, before their rivalry games where they're playing a non-conference, a BCS type team or what have you. So again, hey man, it's a hot take. It's a good take, man. I mean, I like it right here. It totally makes sense.
Well,
that's why it probably won't happen, because it makes sense.
Well, we've talked about that. But I've always been, for the last 30 years, I've always been a big proponent of moving the Georgia game to Labor Day.
Yeah.
I think we need to go ahead and get that game out of the way. It's a huge rivalry. Go back to raising money for Scottish Rite like we used to.
Yeah.
You know, you work all year for that number 1 game at the beginning of the season. You get into now you can settle down and get into your conference.
In your conference game, yeah.
The biggest improvement always comes between your first and second game.
Right.
So why not play the best?
Yep.
Get it out of the way. You lose, which historically, you know, I think we win maybe 3 out of 10, 2 out of 8. And then you move into your conference schedule. So, will that happen? No. I mean, I've asked every AD just to consider it.
Yeah.
And I honestly think Brent Key might go for it, but I just don't think the ADs will go for it.
Yeah, that's at the end of the day, they're going to be the ones to kind of make the decisions on those things. So, yeah, it'll be interesting to see what happens. Again, the landscape of college football, as we talk about, ever-changing. And, again, that's one thing that Chuck Oliver does talk about. We talk about it right here on our program as well, right here on the Morning Rant. Hey, we did have a text on our Jasper Coca-Cola text line, 866-888-0744. Again, Jim says, Tage and Tooch, do your big players show up in the big game tonight? So he's talking about the Sabres, I guess.
I'll tell you what, they're not, you know, I was looking there. That's where they kept asking when are these guys are going to show up. But I'm just looking right here. I still think Carolina is the best team. I still think Montreal is the best team, but it's going to be a lot of fun. Obviously, I'm going to be glued to it. But yeah, they've had a hard time with the number one group, the number one line showing up. And,
right.
They got the perfect opportunity. I mean, hey, you listen. You want the spotlight, big boys. You got it.
Yeah, exactly.
Hey, listen, and you know this. There's going to be. I'd like to see the ratings after this game.
Yeah,
because it's going to be up there.
Oh, absolutely. They've been punching even on the national news. Like I said, last night they were talking about it. So they know the fandom in that area. The Montreal Canadiens. I tell people, if you don't follow hockey, I mean, for lack of a better analogy, they're kind of like the New York Yankees of hockey. Essentially, they have won more championships than anybody. But we know the fanaticism of the Buffalo fans. So yeah, man, I'm looking forward to that Game 7 atmosphere and watching these hockey arenas. I mean, it's just been absolutely amazing, man. Just the noise. I mean, the atmosphere is just wild.
You know what I'm looking forward to tonight is that how are they going to approach the game? Are they going to come out like they finished Saturday fighting?
Right.
Or are they going to say, hey, we need to limit the penalty moments?
Yeah,
because,
right.
Obviously the power play plays a big factor. But it'll be interesting to see how they handle it. I for one would like for Buffalo to come out and punch them in the nose,
right,
and see what happens.
Yeah.
But for some reason, I don't know if that's going to happen or not.
Yeah. We'll have to see. Hey, I want to get back real quick too. We've got a few minutes left here on the program. We were talking on Friday a lot about the scheduling, and there was a story that came out about the decreasing number of Sunday afternoon games. The NFL has been increasing the number of standalone windows, excluding, of course, Thursday Night Football and Monday Night Football, which have always been around. But there will be 23 standalone windows this year, up from 15 last year. For example, and the holidays I know are a little bit different, but the week of Christmas is probably the biggest example of that. There will be 5 standalone windows, leaving only 8 Sunday afternoon games that weekend. And we're seeing kind of a steady increase in the standalone games because it's likely to better the bottom line. As we say, everything always comes back to money. But your thoughts, because there are some reports out there that saying the NFL is slowly killing that Sunday afternoon window by placing so many games in, other time slots, especially later in the year, when the college schedule starts switching up a little bit, they start getting to playoffs. It's already Saturday, Sunday. Well, now it's Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So again, removing some of those games out of that Sunday window. I know you're kind of a traditionalist, as I am. Sunday at 1 o'clock, it's game time, baby, or whatever. But we're seeing less and less of that gradually with the NFL.
I think Roger Goodell is slowly killing the fans off. To be honest with you. Like I said, I'm a Sunday at 1 o'clock type of guy.
Yeah.
And now look, Dave, I'm going to watch because I'm an idiot, and I just watch.
Hey, I'm just as much of an idiot as you are, partner. So we're going to watch.
But I just think, Prime, Peacock, Netflix, YouTube.
Right.
So I just, I'm not a fan. I just think, if you notice, I don't know if I said this the other day, it might have just been you and me talking. I got that blue putty on my hands because I can't feel my hands. You notice next time you watch the NFL, when the season comes around, you notice that 99% of the time the cameras never focus in on the upper decks.
Right.
And every once in a while they'll do it, and then they'll cut away really quick.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
They're losing their fans. Now you have your diehards.
Right.
You've got out of 32 teams, you probably got 10 or 12 teams that are just your diehard.
Sure.
We're going no matter what.
Yeah, they're there.
1 in 15.
You've got them.
We're going to show up.
Yeah, you've got them hooked.
But these other teams, Indianapolis, the Jets, Cleveland, they never show the upper decks. And I think, I'm not going to get into it, but all this woke stuff that happened a few years ago really drove the fans. I really put a big divide into it.
Yeah.
And I've had players talk to me about this before, about how they have been to Bills games and they're very sour on what Goodell has made these teams put, mottos in the end zones and stuff like that. So I just think he's slowly killing the fans. And I think he's pricing everybody out, and everybody's like, well, how are they going to keep getting support? Well, you've got these companies that just keep paying millions and millions of dollars for sponsorships,
right?
And because they just, that's how they feel like their advertising dollars are getting out there.
Right, yeah. No, it totally makes sense. So, again, a little decline, it seems like, every year in those Sunday afternoon window games right there. Hey, we are out of time on this show, man. I tell you, an hour just ain't enough. This is the fastest 1 hour in all of sports talk radio in the land, right here on the home of ESPN Radio in North Georgia. Once again, thanks for being with us right here on a Monday morning quarterback edition of the program presented by your friends at Foundation Wealth in Dalton. Joel, Eric, and the team at Foundation Wealth. Hey, they'll take good care of you right there. John, as always, big man, thanks for bringing it right here on a Monday.
Glad to see you, Ben.
Awesome. We'll be back on Wednesday with Big John as part of our Winging It Wednesday edition of the program. Tomorrow, it's our Rally Towel Tuesday with my man Billy D. Again, we will chop up some of the things going on in the world of sports, our 100% chiropractic moment, and restaurant inspection, all that more on tomorrow's show. Keep it locked right here. As always, our Jasper Coca-Cola text line open, 866-888-0744. This has been the Morning Rant right here. Again, Dave Garner and John Davis signing off today. Chuck Oliver up next with Southern Sports Today, the king of college football. You've been listening to the home of ESPN Radio in North Georgia on the SportsPick app and online at sportspickradio.com. We'll see you tomorrow morning.
Tired of shouting your business's name into the void and getting nothing but crickets? Your brand deserves more than awkward billboard glances and flyers lining bird cages. Right now, listeners are hearing me ramble on instead of your ad. That's a touchdown for missed opportunities and a fumble for your wallet.
Recovered, Atlanta. Game over.
Your ad could be here, making fans laugh, cheer, and most importantly, call you. Go to sportspickradio.com or call 678-454-9552 and get your business off the bench and into the game.